Hi, I'm Emma. Today we're going to talk about a movie that feels really warm, a little funny, a little sad, and honestly, very sweet. It's The Lady and the Tramp. I'm pretty sure you've seen it, and if you remember it, you probably remember Lady, Tramp, the little baby, and of course, that famous spaghetti scene. Yes, we're talking about that movie. Today, we're going to go through the story together, talk about the characters, laugh a little, and learn some useful English words along the way. I'll be adding some interesting words to our vocabulary board as we go. And at the end, we'll go back to the board and review them one by one. So, get comfortable. And let's spend a little time with Lady and Tramp. The story begins in a beautiful, comfortable home. And in this home lives Lady. Lady is a sweet little dog. She has a soft bed, good food, a warm house, and people who love her very much. She has a very comfortable life. Actually, you could say Lady is a little pampered. Very pampered. She has everything she could possibly want. I mean, if I had a bed like that and someone brought me food every day, I wouldn't complain. Not even once. And that's our first word for the board, pampered. Pampered means that someone receives a lot of comfort, attention, or special treatment. And Lady definitely gets a lot of that. Her owners love her. They take care of her. They play with her. And Lady feels safe in her home. She knows where everything is. She knows where she sleeps. She knows when she eats. She knows her family. Everything feels normal. And that feeling is important. Because Lady doesn't know yet that her world is about to change. One day, Lady receives something very special. A beautiful new collar. Another word for the board, collar. A collar is the band that a dog wears around its neck. And Lady is very proud of hers. I mean, look at her. She's wearing a brand new collar. She probably feels like the most elegant dog in the neighborhood. And honestly, she kind of is. Lady spends her days with her family. Everything is peaceful. She enjoys the garden, she watches the street, she sleeps comfortably, and she gets to know the dogs that live nearby. One of them is Jock. Jock is an old Scottish dog. He's friendly, he's loyal, and he knows Lady very well. Then there's Trusty. Trusty is older, a little slower, but he has a lot of experience. And the three dogs have a special relationship. They know each other. They trust each other. They feel comfortable together. But one day, something changes. Lady notices that her family is acting differently. They're preparing something. They're moving things around. And Lady doesn't understand what is happening. What's going on? Why is everyone so busy? Why does everything feel different? And then, Lady realizes something. Her owners are expecting a baby. At first, this is exciting. A baby! A new member of the family. Lady doesn't really understand what that means yet, but she is curious. And when the baby arrives, Lady is happy. She loves being near the baby. She watches carefully. She becomes protective. She wants to know everything. But life in the house begins to change. There are new sounds, new smells, new routines. The family is busy, and Lady doesn't always understand why. Still, she stays close, because that is what she does. She loves her family. And then, we meet another important character, Aunt Sarah. And if you've seen the movie, you probably remember her cats. Those cats definitely have personality, and Lady does not exactly have a great relationship with them. Let's just say they don't become best friends. But Aunt Sarah's visit is not the only problem. There's something else happening. Lady finds herself outside, And suddenly, the world feels much bigger and much less safe. For the first time, Lady is away from her comfortable home. She doesn't know exactly where to go. She starts to wander. Another word for the board, wander. To wander means to walk around without a clear direction. You don't really know where you're going. You're just moving. And Lady is wandering through the city. She sees streets, people, cars, other dogs. Everything is new, and she's not sure what to do. Then, Lady meets Tramp. Now, Tramp is completely different from Lady. Completely. Lady has a home. Tramp doesn't. Lady has a family. Tramp lives on the streets. Lady has a collar. Tramp has, well, nothing. But Tramp knows the city. He knows where to find food. He knows how to avoid trouble. He knows how to survive. And he seems very comfortable with his freedom. Tramp is what we call a stray dog. Another word for the board, stray. A stray is an animal that doesn't have a home or an owner. And Tramp is definitely used to living that way. He doesn't want anyone telling him what to do. He comes and goes whenever he wants. He eats when he finds food. He sleeps wherever he can. And he enjoys his freedom. Lady is fascinated by him. He's strange. He's confident. He's funny. And he knows things she doesn't. But Lady is also a little nervous around him. She's used to being safe. Tramp isn't. Their first meeting is really interesting because they don't seem like they should become friends. They're too different. Lady is careful. Tramp is relaxed. Lady follows rules. Tramp makes his own rules. Lady has a home. Tramp has the whole city. And yet, they connect. Tramp shows Lady the streets. He takes her places she's never seen before. And Lady starts to understand that there is a completely different world outside her house. A world that's exciting, but also dangerous. At one point, Tramp takes Lady through a dark alley. Another word for the board, alley. An alley is a narrow street between or behind buildings. It's usually smaller and quieter than a normal street. And honestly, I don't know if I'd want to walk through a dark alley at night. Definitely not alone. But Tramp knows the city. He isn't afraid. Lady is more cautious. Another word for the board, cautious. Cautious means being careful because something could be dangerous. For example, you might be cautious when crossing a busy street. Lady is cautious. Tramp, not so much. As they spend more time together, Lady starts to see another side of Tramp. He's not simply a funny street dog. He's clever. He's independent. And he knows how to take care of himself. But he also has a softer side. He cares about Lady. He wants to help her. And slowly, something changes between them. Lady starts to trust him, and Tramp starts to care about her. This is where their encounter becomes something more. Another word for the board, encounter. An encounter is a meeting with someone. It can be planned or completely unexpected. And Lady's encounter with Tramp changes both of their lives. But their story isn't simple. Lady still belongs to her family, and she misses them. She wants to go home. She wants everything to be normal again. And Tramp? Well, Tramp knows that life isn't always simple. At one point, Lady finds herself in an animal shelter. Another word for the board, shelter. An animal shelter is a place where animals without homes can stay. And for Lady, it's frightening. She's surrounded by animals she doesn't know. She doesn't understand what will happen, and she desperately wants to go home. This part of the story is sad. Lady isn't used to this kind of life. She's used to warm beds, people who love her, a safe home. And now, everything feels uncertain. She doesn't know what will happen next. And then, Tramp comes back. He doesn't forget Lady. He helps her. He stays with her. And in that moment, we see that his feelings for her are real. Tramp is not the kind of dog who talks about his feelings. He doesn't have a big house. He doesn't have a comfortable life. But he shows his feelings through his actions. And I really like that. Sometimes, what someone does is more important than what they say. And that brings us to another word, loyal. Another word for the board, loyal. A loyal person or animal stays close to someone they care about. They don't leave when things become difficult. And Tramp begins to show that kind of loyalty to Lady. Their relationship becomes stronger. Lady starts to understand his world. Tramp starts to understand hers, and they begin to balance each other. Lady brings warmth and stability. Tramp brings freedom and adventure. They're different, but maybe that's exactly why they work. Then, the story becomes more complicated. Lady returns home, but things still aren't the same. Her owners are busy. The baby needs attention. Aunt Sarah is around, and Lady feels confused. She's worried that her place in the family is changing. Have you ever felt like that? Like something important in your life is changing, and you don't know where you fit anymore? Maybe you started a new school. Maybe your family moved. Maybe you got a new job. Or maybe someone new came into your life. Change can be difficult, even when the change is good, and Lady is learning that. Then, of course, Tramp continues to visit, and every time he appears, Lady has to decide what kind of life she wants. A safe life inside her home, or a more adventurous life outside. And this is where I think the movie becomes really interesting. Because Lady and Tramp are not only different dogs, they represent two very different ways of living. Lady has security. Tramp has freedom. Lady has a family. Tramp has independence. And neither life is perfect. Lady's family gives her love, but sometimes she feels confused. Tramp has freedom, but he doesn't always have a place to call home. And that's an important idea. Sometimes we want the things we don't have. Lady might want freedom. Tramp might want a home. And maybe that's why they understand each other. Now, we have another important word, abandoned. Another word for the board, abandoned. To be abandoned means to be left behind or left alone. And Tramp has experienced that kind of loneliness before. That's part of why he doesn't trust people easily. He's learned to take care of himself. He's learned not to depend on anyone. But Lady slowly changes that. She shows him affection. She gives him a reason to stay close. And Tramp discovers that having someone to care about can be better than being completely free. And that's another beautiful part of their story. Love doesn't make Tramp less independent. It gives his life another direction. There are also some lighter moments. And honestly, this movie has a lot of funny little details. The cats are ridiculous. Lady is sometimes confused. Tramp is always confident. And the dogs have their own little personalities. Sometimes I think the humans are the least interesting characters. Sorry, humans, but it's true. And then we get one of the most famous moments in the entire movie, the restaurant. Lady and Tramp are sitting together. They're sharing a plate of spaghetti. And then, something very sweet happens. They both reach for the same piece of spaghetti. They move closer, and suddenly, they realize what is happening. It's such a simple moment, but it's also really romantic. And I think that's why people remember it. You don't need a huge speech. You don't need an expensive dinner. Sometimes, one plate of spaghetti is enough. And that scene reminds us of another useful word: affection. Another word for the board: affection. Affection means a feeling of love, care, or warmth towards someone. You can show affection through words, through actions, through small gestures. And Lady and Tramp slowly develop that affection for each other. Their relationship continues to grow, but the story still has danger. Lady's family is still dealing with changes. Tramp is still an outsider, and they have to figure out where they belong. Eventually, their choices lead to a serious situation, and Tramp once again risks himself to help Lady. He doesn't have to. He could leave. He could run away. That's what he's always done. But this time, he stays. Because something has changed. He has someone to care about. And suddenly, freedom doesn't mean running away anymore. It means having the freedom to choose where you belong. And Tramp begins to choose Lady. He chooses her family. He chooses a home. And that's a huge change for him. By the end of the story, Lady's life has changed too. She isn't the same little dog we met at the beginning. She's seen the world outside her home. She's learned about danger. She's learned about friendship. She's learned about love. And she's learned that the world isn't always safe, but it can still be beautiful. And Tramp changes too. He starts as a stray who wants complete freedom. He doesn't want rules. He doesn't want responsibility. He doesn't want a home. But eventually, he discovers something better. He discovers that belonging somewhere doesn't mean losing your freedom. It means finding a place where you are loved. And honestly, that's what I love most about this movie. It's not just a love story between two dogs. It's a story about two completely different lives meeting each other and changing each other. Lady teaches Tramp about home. Tramp teaches Lady about the world. And together, they find something in the middle. A home with adventure, love with freedom, and a family that grows. That's pretty sweet. And I think that's why The Lady and the Tramp still works so well. It's simple, it's funny, it's romantic. And underneath all of that, it's about belonging. It's about finding someone who understands you. And sometimes, it's about realizing that the life you thought you wanted isn't the life you actually need. Now, before we finish, let's take one last look at our vocabulary board. We've collected some really useful words today, and this time, I'm just going to repeat them. No long explanations, just listen carefully. Ready? Pampered, collar, mischievous, wander, stray, alley, cautious, encounter, shelter, loyal, abandoned, affection, companion, roam, freedom, grateful. 16 words, and every one of them came from the story. So don't try to memorize all of them tonight. Choose 3, write them down, say them out loud, and try to use them in your own sentences. Then tomorrow, choose 3 more. Little by little, your English gets stronger. And now, I have a question for you. If you could choose between Lady's life and Tramp's life, which would you choose? A comfortable home or complete freedom? Personally, I love a comfortable home. Give me a warm bed, good food, and a cup of coffee, and I'm happy. But I also understand Tramp. Sometimes you want to go somewhere new, see something different, and just explore. Maybe the answer is somewhere in the middle. A little comfort, a little adventure, and someone you love to share it with. That sounds pretty good to me. Thanks for spending this time with me. I really enjoyed talking about this movie with you, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Keep practicing your English, keep listening, and remember, you don't need to understand every word to make progress. Just keep going. And I'll see you in our next movie. Bye for now.